honey, buckle up because this is not your usual royal tale. This is the Hollywood version of Buckingham Palace meets Beverly Hills chaos. And trust me, the sequins are shinier, the tans are faker, and the drama? Oh, it's piping hot. So here's the tea, the Royal Circus has officially moved its tent to Los Angeles. But forget champagne flutes and royal grace. This is all about glitter, Botox, fake tans, and a Bond-themed madness that had everyone asking one burning question: how on earth did Meghan Markle end up here? Because when Kris Jenner throws a 70th birthday bash, it's not just a party. It's a billionaire summit, a Botox Olympics, and a paparazzi war zone all rolled into one glittering mess.
A lot of people have that, but very, 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 very few, even actors, have the level of following and the level of influence.
And somehow, our favorite runaway royals, Meghan and her permanently exhausted husband Harry, decided this was their big comeback moment. Spoiler alert, it so wasn't. Picture this: Beverly Hills nighttime. A mansion so massive, it probably pays its own property. Hosted by Jeff Bezos and his new fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, this was the ultimate James Bond-themed spectacle celebrating Kris Jenner's milestone birthday. Everyone who's anyone was there. Kim Kardashian sparkled in diamonds the size of ice cubes.
All-in-one shampoo and his shaving foam and his razor. Well, listen, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We ought to do that, Kinsey.
Oprah glowed like liquid gold, and in the corner, half the cast of Selling Sunset practiced their smiles for Netflix cameras, and then boom, the doors swing open. Enter Meghan and Harry. Now, quick reminder, back in the UK, it's Remembrance Sunday weekend, a sacred time when the royal family stands in solemn silence to honor fallen soldiers. Across the Atlantic, the Windsors are bowing their heads, and here, Meghan's grinning under disco lights while Harry holds her hands like a man holding on for dear life. The contrast, absolutely brutal. London had quiet reflection. LA had confetti and cocktails.
It goes to show you where where she was always looking, which was not royalty, it was not being an actual influencer in the world. She really just wants to be a Kardashian.
While the royal family stood at the cenotaph, Harry stood under chandeliers. And baby, the irony didn't stop there. Oh no, the night was just getting started. So Meghan steps in, eyes sparkling like she just won Miss Universe. She's glowing, she's posing, she's practically levitating from all that attention. And Harry? Well, if regret ever needed a face, it would have been wearing a bow tie that night. And remember, this is the same couple that spent years begging the press to respect their privacy. Funny, right? Because the same paparazzi they once sued just happened to be stationed outside Bezos' ultra-secure mansion, cameras ready, flash bulbs blazing, angles perfect. Coincidence? Girl, please.
By yourself with this family. Is there not a bit of hypocrisy? Given the previous comments that they've made about, for example, the skin tone of their baby's skin. Now, I'm actually not calling the Kardashians out for that. I think they were having an honest conversation, but
Cap agencies like Backgrid don't just magically appear at billionaire parties unless someone drops a pin. And if there's one thing Meghan knows how to do, it's find the light. Every photo screamed Hollywood royalty, but let's be real, it was giving more reality TV hopefuls. Meghan's smile was wide enough to power Los Angeles, while Harry looked like he was silently praying to be teleported back to Kensington Palace. He's got that little red poppy pinned on his tux, trying to play the patriotic prince while standing next to a buffet table that probably cost more than his entire military wardrobe. Meghan's clinging to his arm like she's auditioning for Keeping Up with the Windsors, and somewhere in the background, you can almost hear Kris Jenner muttering, "Lord, not tonight." This right here is the woman who spent years crying about escaping the spotlight, now making sure every single flashbulb catches her good side. Privacy who? Oh no, darling. Meghan Markle was back on center stage, and Hollywood was eating it up. Now, let's talk about that outfit, because if this soiree were a movie, Meghan's wardrobe would have been its own plot twist. She walked in wearing a black wrap skirt with a slit so high it needed its own security clearance, paired with a clingy top that looked like it was holding on for dear life. From the knees up, Malibu glow. From the knees down, British winter. The spray tan stopped halfway. The math wasn't mathing. And the fabrics? Oh, girl. 2 different shades of black. Top half matte, bottom half glossy. It looked like her outfit was having an identity crisis. Fashion critics called it rage bait dressing, that desperate please notice me vibe wrapped in a designer label. Meanwhile, Harry looked like a man who'd lost a bet. Classic tux, same old bow tie except for that tiny red poppy on his lapel. His attempt to honor Remembrance Day. Sweet gesture, wrong venue. Because nothing screams respect for fallen soldiers like sipping champagne under a disco ball next to Kim Kardashian. As cameras flashed, Meghan beamed like a spotlight herself. Harry blinked repeatedly like a man trying to wake from a nightmare. Somewhere in the universe, you could practically hear a whisper, "Oh, how the mighty have fallen." So there they were, the Sussexes making their grand Hollywood entrance, while Kris Jenner's 70th birthday was officially in full Bond-themed swing. Meghan's smile didn't falter for a second. You could almost see the inner monologue. This is my moment, my redemption arc, my headline. But while she basked under the chandeliers, the real Hollywood elite whispered behind their crystal glasses. Who invited them? One murmured. Were they even on the list? Whispered another. Spoiler, no one seemed to know. See, that's Meghan for you. She doesn't wait for doors to open. She builds her own staircase, kicks the door open, and walks in like she owns the mansion. Word around the room was that she wasn't even on the official guest list. Some claim she smiled her way past security. Others think her new PR powerhouse agency, WME, may have slid her name onto the list to stir a little publicity. However it happened, Meghan made sure she got in. Once inside, she strutted through Bezos' mansion like she was reclaiming her throne one hair flip at a time. And let's just say, Lauren Sanchez, Bezos' fiance and the actual co-host, was watching her every move. You know that one woman at every party who smiles sweetly while throwing invisible daggers? Yeah, that was Lauren. Because Meghan's reputation in Hollywood, it precedes her. She's got a radar for billionaires that's sharper than Beverly Hills Wi-Fi. Every time she joined a conversation, boom, a camera appeared. One moment, she's complimenting Kim Kardashian's outfit. The next, she's perfectly positioned between Kim and Oprah for a casual, candid. If Hollywood has its own royal hierarchy, Meghan was clearly trying to marry into it again. But the energy was off. The true insiders, Kris, Kim, Jeff, Lauren, they play a different kind of power game. They don't chase the spotlight. They control it. And Meghan, she's still auditioning to belong. That's when the whispers started spreading faster than champagne bubbles. Was she even invited? Did she just show up? And in that moment right there, Meghan wasn't the guest anymore. She became the gossip. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, London was cloaked in silence. It was Remembrance Sunday, and the royal family stood shoulder to shoulder at the cenotaph. Heads bowed, poppies pinned, trumpets echoing through the cold November air. While Britain remembered its heroes, Harry was somewhere between the martini bar and the dance floor, adjusting his tux and forcing a smile. The split-screen contrast was cinematic solemn duty versus Beverly Hills nonsense. One side had rain reflection and reverence. The other had disco balls, designer dresses, and Meghan laughing too loudly at something Kris Jenner said. This was supposed to be her night, her triumphant Hollywood moment. Her chance to prove she'd made it, but instead, it just looked tone-deaf, like showing up to a funeral in a tiara. Because while her husband's family honored fallen soldiers, Meghan was busy honoring the lighting. She escaped the palace seeking freedom, but somehow ended up chained to Hollywood's version of royalty. One selfie, one scandal, one spotlight at a time. And that's the sting. It wasn't just bad timing, it was bad optics. She wanted prestige, but the world saw parody. By morning, the tabloids didn't scream, Hollywood elite celebrate Kris Jenner. Oh no. They roared. Harry and Meghan steal the show again, and somewhere in Calabasas, you could almost hear Kris sigh, muttering, "Can I not have one birthday without a royal plot twist?" Here's the thing about Meghan and Harry, they've turned contradiction into an art form. It's honestly impressive at this point. They beg for privacy, then call the paparazzi. They preach compassion while cashing massive Netflix checks. They skip royal duties to dance under disco lights and then wear poppies like it's some kind of political statement. Even Hollywood, a city built on illusion, has started rolling its eyes. Because this isn't royal rebellion anymore. It's performance art. Meghan's reinvented herself so many times, you'd think she was running a startup called Brand Markle. And that brand? Carefully curated smiles, photo-ready charity appearances, and a husband who now looks like he's perpetually praying for a power outage so the cameras stop flashing. That night at Kris Jenner's party, every part of Meghan's self-made empire was on display, ambition, desperation, and delusion wrapped in designer satin. She wanted to look like the queen of Beverly Hills. But she ended up looking like the Duchess who didn't get the memo. Because, darling, Hollywood has rules. You don't upstage the host. You don't stage your own mini press conference at someone else's birthday. And above all, you never try to steal Kris Jenner's spotlight. That's social suicide in LA terms. But Meghan? She spun that spotlight right toward herself and burned under it. Now, let's talk about poor Harry. Remember the man who once stood tall in uniform, saluting soldiers with pride? The war veteran who had honor, duty, and dignity written all over him? Well, fast forward to now, he's clinking champagne glasses with influencers pretending to laugh at Kris Jenner's Botox jokes. Prince Harry used to command rooms. Now, he's just part of Meghan's +1 package. Every photograph from that night tells a silent, heartbreaking story. Meghan eyes bright, hungry, desperate for validation. Harry eyes dull, distant, as if he's mentally drafting an exit strategy or silently Googling how to disappear politely. He's not the prince anymore, he's a prop. A background accessory in Meghan's Hollywood production. By morning, social media was ablaze. Clips, photos, tweets, all dissecting Meghan's appearance, her dress, her spray tan mishap, Harry's awkward grin, the irony of that little red poppy. The public didn't see elegance, they saw irony. They didn't see prestige, they saw parody. Meghan wanted to prove she could rule in Hollywood, but what she proved was that you can take the girl out of the palace, but you can't take the palace drama out of the girl. And poor Harry, he's now the supporting actor in the world's longest-running reality show, Keeping Up with the Sussexes. As dawn broke over Beverly Hills, the glitter had faded, but the gossip had just begun. Meghan and Harry's grand rebrand had turned into another PR disaster. They wanted to look powerful. They ended up looking out of place. The next morning's tabloids didn't mince words. Duchess of Desperation? Hollywood's royal gatecrasher. From crown to clown, Meghan's glam misstep. The internet was ruthless. Memes of Harry looking lost under like crowned and stuck there and as this fire. And one from where the disco lights flooded timelines. And once again, Meghan became what she always swore she didn't want to be, a viral headline. And here's the grand finale of this royal gone Hollywood saga. Kris Jenner's 70th birthday wasn't remembered for its theme, its guest list, or its luxury. It was remembered because Meghan Markle made it about herself. For one dazzling, uncomfortable night, Meghan was part of America's royal court, surrounded by Kardashians, billionaires, and A-listers. But when the glitter settled and the gossip rolled in, she wasn't crowned Queen of Hollywood. She was quietly shown the door. The message was clear: Hollywood doesn't kneel. It observes. It judges. And then it moves on. So, in the end, Meghan's grand plan backfired spectacularly. She left Buckingham Palace to escape judgment and landed right in the most judgmental city on earth. And Harry? The poor man followed her from royal duty to red carpet disaster, from royal guard to gossip fodder. Behind every fake smile that night was one question lingering between them both. Was it worth it? Because in chasing fame, they lost the one thing money can't buy: grace. So congratulations, Meghan, you finally got the Hollywood headline you craved. But it didn't read Queen of Glamour, it read Queen of Controversy. And as the paparazzi lights dimmed and the music faded into the night, one thing became crystal clear. You can trade the crown for a spotlight, but you can't buy respect. And that, my dear viewers, is how you go from Buckingham Palace to Beverly Hills and somehow get kicked out of both.